All right, hey everybody. So I wanted to do a quick video just walking through the data analytics simulation. So this is the me looking at it in the student view. I can't show you what it looks like when you uh, purchase it, but this is once you actually um, begin the simulation. So the first thing you're going to see are those two downloads that I've posted into Brightspace, the how to play guide and the basically the case itself, a little bit of the background. Um, so you'll use that in part for your overview when you go to do the reflection. And then you're given a number of different tabs here to look at. So there's the dashboard, which is sort of your snapshot overview of where you are. So actually, I'll give you a little bit of overview of what your situation is that you'll be able to read in the case itself. But basically, you are going to be running a national laundry detergent brand. So think Tide or Gain or any of those things you see at the supermarket. You are running one called Blue. So you actually see yourself here on the pie chart. Your other competitors, Turbo Fresh and the generic store brand. So you can see at the beginning of this, you are not doing so hot. And you're given a little bit of history. You're given 4 years in the past, and you're going to actually be making the decisions that affect the company's performance for the next 4 years. So you're going to try to, grow this market share, increase this profitability, um, increase revenue, and we'll get into um, what else you're going to see here. A little snapshot of demand by region. So yeah, first tab, dashboard, just your quick snapshot. How are you doing? What does it look like? Where are you right now? So then in reports, you have some standard things you can look at, like the actual income statement of the company, production versus demand. Um, so one of the things you'll be doing is deciding how much of this stuff to actually make. So this is a product business. So you're selling detergent. So you have to decide how much to make, and that will be isn't what you make is the most you can sell. Um, and when you look at this in the future here, you can see that the demand is the same amount that was produced. So basically, you made it exactly as much as you needed to. If you made more than the demand, if you produced more than the demand, you would have, you basically wasted money. If you made less than the demand, it means you left money on the table. Um, Pricing. I think I broke it, but that should be what your price point is compared to the competitors. Hang on, let me try to go back into it. Technical difficulty. We were in reports, pricing. I'm dumb enough to try that again. Okay, yeah. So the actual price point, we're talking about what the end user, what your customer buys it for. What's the price that you see, in the grocery store on the shelf? So you can see Blue at the start of this is sold for $7, or whatever it is, a box or bottle. Turbo is more, the store brand is less. So that's another thing you're going to be deciding on, is how much to price, what to price it at. And lastly, social media, what is the reaction? What do the comments look like? So this is all stuff to kind of, again, get a big picture view of, where does the company stand. Data Explorer, this gives you even more information to drill into, more detail to help you try to decide what you're going to do. So profit and revenue, the market share, these are some of the dashboard items that you might be able to see a little more in detail. So market share rather than a pie chart, you can see, what is it in each year. These demand items are things you're going to want to think about in terms of, how do you market the company? Where do you push the advertising? So brand demand. So you're getting an idea for how who wants to buy this product. And in any of these things, you can actually filter it by income levels, ethnicity, household size, the geographic region, which helps shed some light on some things. Sales in terms of units rather than dollars in revenue. Formulation, now we're getting into some of the things you will be using to make a decision. So formulation demand, basically, how are you selling your product? Is it a pod? Is it a liquid? Is it a powder? That's something that you are going to be deciding on. Media, basically your the channels that you can market through. Attribute is something else you'll be deciding. Odor elimination, being able to use it with, say, cold water versus the more expensive hot water. Scent, softness, these are things that people are making decisions on to buy it. Trade channel, essentially, where do you sell it? Convenience store, club, BJ's, Costco type things. Grocery store, mass market. Price point, so where do people, what level are people comfortable spending? Households, I don't know what this one's for. Okay, again, geographic demand. Here you can see, let me scroll down, the darker it is, the more people want to buy your product. And again, you can filter by these different things here, so you can think about how to reach these people. So yeah, these first four things are, information you can use. It's basically just things for you to look at. You don't make any decisions here. Decision history is what have you been doing in the 4 years that you're playing through. So you can at any point you can come here and see what did you do, and then you can go back to the dashboard and see if it resulted in an increase or a decrease. And this final tab, make decisions, this is basically where you go once you've absorbed the information and done your research. This is where you actually make the decisions to, I'm air quoting with my hands here, play your turn. So basically, for each of the 4 years, you're going to look at this information, decide how you want to attack this. You come to make decisions, and this is where you decide how much to make, what to price it at, what formula to choose, what product feature, how to allocate your spending, how to advertise, and what target markets to focus on. So basically, this is where you're going to make your decisions for each of the 4 years, and then you'll press that submit decision, and it will tell you the results of that year. One of the things you can do here, this one specifically, if you click on forecast demand here, it'll bring up kind of estimates for how much they think in each region you could potentially sell. And if you have no idea what to do, you can it says click here for the previous year's value. So that's how much you made last year. It might be too much, might be not enough, might be just right. But that's one of the things you're going to have to kind of figure out along the way. So you get a little more information here as well. Oops, let me close this. So yeah, so the first, you should play through this whole simulation a couple times. The first time will take you a significant amount of time because you're going to want to look at all of these things and try to get a sense of, what would be the best decision to make using this information, using the data here. So then you come here and then you make these decisions, press submit decision, and then it will tell you, it'll basically bring you back here and it will say, okay, you went from 37 million in profit to 40, or if you didn't make as good of a decision, you maybe go down to 25 or 20. So the first time there's a lot to look at. So first time through is just sort of figuring out how it all works. When you play it through, 2 to 3 more times, it will go very quickly. And once you've played through a couple times, if you click on the Harvard logo here, it doesn't work for me because this is the instructor module. But if at any point in time, say you've played it through once and you're in the second time, if you click on the Harvard logo up here, it will ask you if you want to look at, you get like a little pop-up menu and it will let you look at previous runs or plays through the simulation. So you can see, what did you do, how did it go, and what might you want to do differently. So the first time, like I said, takes you a lot of time. Your other attempts, you may just decide you want to try one thing and just go all in on it. So, to set each of these things, really only takes you about 5 seconds. It's what did you, how did you use the information to make that decision? It's very easy to just fill these out and hit submit or play your turn. So like I said, the first time through you'll probably kind of pour through all this information. The subsequent times you might kind of fine tune a single idea and just see what happens. Yeah, that's the overview here. I just wanted to let you know what you were looking at. What are you supposed to be doing? How do you know if you've even played a turn? So yeah, so this is just a quick overview. Hopefully it makes a little more sense if you didn't know what you were getting into before, and I look forward to hearing how it goes.